looking at the importance of formative assessment and at some basic principles. Our next lessons are going to cover a variety of methods of engaging in formative assessment. Let's look at some quick ways you can check on student progress. Now remember, we're looking for things that will help us know the status of all our students. So we're not talking here about the types of things where you ask questions in class regularly because, as we've mentioned, that just gives you information about the one or two students that you ask that question to. We're looking for ways where you can check the progress of all your students. So first we're going to think about some tools that will help us get some pretty quick formative assessment information. There are some low-tech ways you can find out quickly what students know or don't know. One is the personal whiteboard, and many teachers use this. In the old days, students had personal slates and chalk, and this is the same type of approach. The teacher asks a question, poses a problem or whatever, and the students all put their answer on the board, and then when the teacher gives a command, the students all hold up their boards. The teacher can glance around the room and can easily see the students' answers and can tell quickly who gets it and who doesn't. Now, a benefit of these is that you don't have to prepare anything special ahead of time, like entering questions into software. And you can use them for many subjects. I mean, the same marker board in math, they can write their numbers and answer. In history, they can write a name. If you ask a true-false question, they can put T or F. They can draw a quick diagram. I mean, the whiteboard is probably the most flexible of the options. But keep in mind, you need to ask questions that can be answered in just a few words or numbers and something like that. You don't want something that's going to take a lot of writing on the student's part or a lot of reading on your part. Because when you have 20 or so students holding up marker boards, you don't have time to look around at every one of them and read a few sentences that they've written. You just need to be able to glance and see, okay, who's got it, who doesn't. Now this also means you have to be able to actually read their writing. And with some students this can be problematic or it can slow you down as you scan the room. But personal marker boards is one good way of getting quick formative assessments. Another one is the response card. Now, response cards are flexible. There's no advanced preparation needed. You have various kinds. You have multiple choice things where each student would have an A, B, C, or D, possibly in different colors, which just makes it that much easier for you to scan quickly. You have yes-no sticks that they can hold up, or they can even use their thumbs, where thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. There's a lot of different things they can do here. So these also, it's a little bit less flexible than the marker boards because, I mean, it's just limited to things that are like multiple choice or true-false questions. But they give you a quick read on the class. And the benefit here is that you don't have to deal with handwriting. I mean, you can see A, B, C, or D, or the color, or whatever. But now, one problem of both of these low-tech types of solutions is that you don't really have a record of what the students do. I mean, you keep in your mind, you're thinking, okay, I see that Billy isn't understanding this, or I see that most of the class has got it, or whatever. But there's nothing that you could go back to later and analyze what the students are doing. Also, there's still some social pressure here. I mean, even if you're having them do it quickly, students will tend to look and say, okay, I know Susie always gets the right answer, and if she holds up an A, I'm going to hold up an A too. They tend to do that, okay? That's one drawback to this. So we're going to look at some ways that you can use technology to get effective formative assessment information quickly in class. And these provide you with the means also of keeping a record of what they're doing. Now these assume that you're in a classroom where all the students have computers or some internet connected device like their phone or something like that. Like you're in a BYOD or a one-to-one setting, something like that where students have all their own devices. That's how this works. So let's look at some options, some different technology options for this, and there are many available. We're just going to look at a few here. Now, here is one possibility. It's called Socrative, and I'll put a link to the website and tell you more about that. But here's how this works. On the left side of your screen, you see the teacher monitor, the way it looks to the teacher. On the right side is the student view. So after he has logged in, then it says here waiting for teacher to start an activity. Now what I'm going to do as the teacher, I start a quiz. I've got some quizzes here that I've made up previously, so here's one that I'm going to do. And we'll just go down here and say start. And you see now it comes up where he enters his name. So again, this is Johnny, and he clicks done. Okay, and you see now on the teacher screen it shows that Johnny is in here and that other students will be listed down here below him. Okay, now you see on Johnny's screen it shows the first question of the quiz. The superintendent is Mike Lee, Richard Goff, Arnie Duncan, or Seymour Skinner. And so what Johnny does, he will select that, and we will say that he selects Mike Lee, and then he clicks Submit Answer. Okay, and it even gives some feedback and says, okay, you got it right. And it shows up over here on the teacher screen, it shows up that Johnny got that right. Okay, so he goes and he clicks OK. See, and then he's ready for the next question. Pipe organ music is creepy, is the most glorious sound on earth, makes my ears bleed, or reminds me of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Okay, so Johnny says that pipe organ music makes his ears bleed. He clicks that. He clicks Submit Answer. Okay. It's the wrong answer. Okay. But he clicks OK. He missed that one. Okay. Snow days are great for the students. True, false? So Johnny loves snow days. He clicks true. He clicks Submit Answer. He missed that one. Okay, you see it shows here that the correct answer is false. Now, back to the second question, I should have pointed out, there was not a correct answer that I as the teacher had put in there ahead of time. I just wanted to get feedback so he could select anything and it would show up there. So that was why it didn't say incorrect or anything like that. Okay, so he missed this one. In 140 characters or less, how does this picture make you feel? Okay, you see here that he is able to type. And so he types in an answer. He clicks Submit Answer. Okay, and it says it's submitted. And you see over here on the teacher's screen, it shows what he answered. And again, if I had more students, they would all be listed here. I, as the teacher, would be able to see that instantly. Okay, so that's how Socrative works. Now, if I wanted to, okay, so we finished that quiz. So I click up here as a teacher, I click Finish. Now I have several ways that I can see the responses. I can view the responses. One of them might be to view a chart. So I decide I want to view a chart of the responses, and there's my chart that I just had. Okay, or I can click Get Report. I can have a report downloaded. As I can get it downloaded as a whole class Excel. I can get a PDF of individual students, or I can get a PDF that shows me the answers by question. So a number of ways that I can get those. I could have the responses emailed to me as well. So Socrative has a lot of different things that you can do with it. It's great for these types of formative assessments. Now, the game that's really fun for the kids to play, it's an app for formative assessment, is called Kahoot. I'm not going to go into all the details about how to do it, but the kids really enjoy it, and it's a great way for you to get some good formative assessment information on your students. So again, on the left you see the teacher screen, on the right you see the student, and this needs to be something that is projected on the front. That's the design of the game. It's something that's projected at the front. So the teacher screen is also being projected on the front. So the teacher clicks play, and after the student has gotten to the website, the teacher will come up with this. There's some options we won't go through, but here is the, you see up at the top it shows a game pin, 6 digits. So the student enters that. 778 355, clicks enter. Okay. And so the student gets in there, and we've tried this previously. So we'll say that Jerry is going to do this. Okay. The students give themselves nicknames. This helps with student privacy laws because they're not turning over any personal information, but it also means that the teacher needs to know who these nicknames are if she wants to track their results. Now, if she's just doing it as a fun assessment, a fun quick review, that's one thing, but if she wants to track results by individuals, she needs to know who has what name. So that's how she would do that. So we'll say join game here, and Jerry's name pops up on the front of the board, at the front of the screen. Remember, this is being projected at the front. The teacher sees his name and sees that there's one player. If other students log in, their names are going to appear here. The teacher can also set it up so that they're automatically divided into teams if she wants, or they can all be individual. So when everybody's in, she clicks Start Now, and you see there's 4 questions. The student sees that it's loading. Here's the first question: the first president of the United States, and they wait. Okay, now you see there's 4 answers, and they have shapes, and on the student screen they see the shapes. So the student needs to decide, okay, who is it? Oh, George Washington. And lo and behold, that's right. And the student got 550 Kahoots. The score is based not only on whether they get it right, but on how quickly they answer. The quicker they answer, the more points they get. So the graph shows one student, this would show all the student answers, how many answered which one. So the teacher clicks next, and there's our current scoreboard. So here's the next one. Okay. Here we're going to see a picture of a composer. Who is that? Well, I think that is Handel. Whoa, I didn't get that one right. Okay, it was actually Bach, and it shows me who the right answer was. Projects it on the screen at the top. Now, the way this works is when all the students have answered, then the question closes out. Or if the teacher sets a time limit, and at the end of that time limit, the question closes out. So the teacher clicks next. There's my scoreboard again. Oh, here's another famous composer. Let's see who this one is. Okay. Oh, that's McCartney. I know that one. Okay, so I'll click that, and I got that one right. Okay, and then next. And the last question, 5 squared. Okay, and okay, there's 25 down there. Notice I clicked that pretty quickly. I got 900 Kahoots for that because I did it pretty fast. So there's the graph. The teacher clicks next. There's the scoreboard, and it shows who the winner is. And on the student screen, it shows, oh, you got the top score. Now the teacher then can go and say, okay, tell me as a student, how did you like this? Was it fun? We'll say, yeah, it was fun. It was a 5. I didn't learn anything, so I'm going to put the thumbs down, but I do recommend it. Yeah, it was fun. And I like it. I'm happy because I won. Okay, and this will show, again, everybody. It'll show a summary of everybody and how they rated it. Then the teacher can click Final Results. There's the final scoreboard. And if she wants to, she can download the results. And so she would get a spreadsheet that would show all the students, what they answered on each one. So she could do more analysis if she wants to. If not, then she's through. So that's how you play Kahoot. The kids really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It does take a little bit of prep time for the teacher, but it works out really well. Now, another option that you can use for in-class assessments is called Today's Meet. This is especially useful for back channeling, but you can also do discussions with it. It's similar in format to Twitter, and the difference is that this is an entirely private network. Only the people who are in your class see this. Only those can participate. Again, on the left here you see the teacher screen, and I've set up a room here called Dr. K. Then we have two students who have signed in, and here's one of them. We'll say that this is Johnny. He gives his name and joins, and then we have over here, we'll say that this is Susie. She joins. Okay, now what happens is then that the teacher might do something like posting a question. What do you think about Moby Dick? Okay, and then that shows up on the student screens, as you can see. And let's say that over here we have Johnny says something like, I think it stinks. And Susie says, okay, I love it. Okay, and you see how the messages show up. Again, it's similar to a Twitter type of feed. And they can go on through that. Now, the teacher, as you go through this, the students can interact with one another. You have several things like this, but this is just a very simple discussion type board. The teacher has some options. The teacher, for example, can give a projector view where the teacher could display on the board. Okay, let's see what everybody's saying. Notice that the teacher sees everything that's going on here. So, the students can't harass one another. They can't do things like that. The teacher can, if she wants to, delete posts if something comes out that says, "Oh, I don't want that." They can delete it. The teacher can also make a transcript. Like, say you've had a discussion and a lot of ideas have come out. The teacher can make a transcript and print that out so that then everybody could have that. But that is todaysmeet.com. So I think it's a helpful tool for you. Now, when might you do these formative assessments? Well, one time you might do it is to give a beginning of the class quiz. Maybe they've had homework the night before, or if you're doing a flipped classroom type of approach where they have videos to watch, give them a real quick 2 or 3 question quiz that they take based on the videos. Just a few questions, but you're checking to see if they get the main point. You might also do this several times during the lesson. Like while you're teaching the lesson, you check for understanding, you look at the main point of what you've been teaching, but you want to have a way, again, to see what everyone is doing, and it's not just, asking a question of one person. So you need some type of response system, whether it's the cards that we've mentioned, or the marker boards, or a technology response system. I mean, you have dedicated student response systems, sometimes called clickers, but actually in a BYOD setting or one-to-one setting, the apps that we mentioned a while ago are easier to use. They don't require purchasing a lot of new equipment, but these enable you to get some quick checks throughout the lesson. And then you might have an exit ticket. At the end of class, you have the students fill out something. Some teachers just use an index card. They give an index card, ask a question, and then the students write the answer with their name and turn it in as they leave class. something to do with the main point of the lesson, then you can glance through those and see if there's something you need to do the next day to clarify, or if there's a particular student that you need to help out with. But you can do that as an exit ticket as well. So these are some ways that you can get quick formative assessment. In our next session, we're going to start looking at some more in-depth methods of formative assessment, things that take a little more time, but will also give you more information. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop me a note.